Okay, to transform Onslaught into his robot mode, first bring down this turret and push in these barrels. And then we want to start opening up these panel pieces, starting first here. And you want to come underneath. There is a little gap for your finger to go in to untab this panel piece and then bring it out. And then there is a little panel piece at the end. You want to fold that in, and then you rotate this down and you turn it around, come to the other side, do the same on this side. So underneath there is a space for your finger to untab this, bring it out, and then there's that little panel piece. You want to fold that in, and then you could rotate this down. And then you come to this turret and you want to grab the two halves on the top where the tab is, and then you pull it to untab it. And then you open it up and you could see these hinges. So you want to bring them up, and then you want to rotate it to the left side on this center hinge, so that now we can start untabbing and lifting up this piece. Coming up to the front, you untab this, and then here it catches because the center piece tabs in on a mushroom tab. So you come here as close to this center until you untab that, and then that will allow you to now bring this up. And once you do, now that center panel piece, you want to fold that in. And then this top piece, let's now come up a little bit so you could see it's open. It's because you need to bring down this panel piece on the inside, and you want to make sure you have clearance to bring it down. And then you could fold this down like so. And then you do the same on the other side by rotating the turret now to the right side to get to the left side. And then the same thing, you want to lift up to untab that. And then when you bring it up, there's that open space here because you need to bring down this small panel piece. Bring it down till it's nice and flush. And then we can bring this down. And now down here, you can maybe lift these up so you have room to grab here. And you want to separate the two halves on the post and the tab. Separate that. And then we can rotate these thighs out so they have a nice A stance for some clearance here. And then now we'll work on this side. Let's come back down here. So you want to untab this inner part of the lower leg. So pull out, and that will allow you to lift up this top piece. So you untab that, which will expose his foot that you need to bring out by pushing down on the one hinge. And then this hinge, you want to use it to bring it up and out. And you could see there's a tab and a slot. Line it up, tab it in. And then once you do, then you can use that ankle rocker and then rotate this down and out on that double hinge. And then there's a heel that you also want to bring out like so. After you did all of that, now we can bring these side panel pieces of the lower leg up on the double hinge. So bring one up, and then bring the other side up, and bring this side up all the way till it's straight. Then you can bring this down, and you could see it's going to tab in. After you do that, then we can bring this up so that this side tabs in. And you need to make sure you line the tab, give it a good squeeze. After that, then we can bring down this top piece. Now you could fold it in, tab it in, give it a good squeeze. And then on the back, you could bring this down. There's a mushroom tab, tab that in. And then the foot, you can now ankle that. Use the ankle rocker up, and now we have one side of the leg done. And now you could do the same on this side. Okay, after you got the other side done, then you want to come up to the top and you want to close this turret, and you have to arrange these hinges here so that it's going up, down, and then back up on both sides so that you can tab these two together. And if you do it the other way, then it's going to be too high. So make sure you get it orientated that way. And then coming to the knees on that double joint, you want to push the thigh forward or push the lower leg back like so. And then we can fix these hips that are designed that way. So you want to use the top ratchet, which is the green one, and then fold that up. And here I'll just show you again. It's a double jointed ratchet. It's the green one is the ratcheted one, and then the black one is the friction. So you want to grab here, push up to engage the top green ratchet, and then close that hip up, and then we can rotate the hips around 180. And then let's see the best way to get a good view here. Now we want to open up this panel piece here on the bottom. There's a series of tabs that you want to untab. You open it up, and after you do, then you can fold down the window, and very importantly, the small panel piece, the corner of the door, fold that in like so, and then rotate it around. Do the same on this side. Come on the bottom, untab that, fold down the window, fold in this small panel piece at the corner of the door. Once you do, then that will allow you to now bend this front part down like so. And when you have that down, there's these panel pieces here you want to bring out on both sides. That's going to be the side of his chest. And then coming up here, you want to fold down these wheels on both sides, and then you want to rotate them in 180, and you want to make sure you get this as straight as you can because it doesn't really lock in place. So don't just have it slightly down or slightly up. You have to try to make sure you get this straight. So make sure you fold that in so it's nice and straight because it doesn't lock in place, magic square. After you do, then you can bring this back. Then, well, you want to fold these pieces in, the side pieces, and you could see how it's angled. And need to also point out there are these tabs that go into the slots here. And this is important because you heard that. You need to make sure that gets tabbed in all the way. Because if you don't have that tabbed in, then this is not going to tab in here. But if you tab it in, if you tab in the top piece all the way, then this piece will tab in very easily. And then you bring down this small panel piece that forms his side waist piece. And then you do the same on the other side. Tab that in. And then you bring down the waist piece like so. And then we have this. It's kind of bent, so you have some room to see all of this. Then we can come up to the top, and you want to push up a little bit on this front bumper, but then you want to pull this down so that you untab it right there. And then once you do, then on the double hinge, you can kind of pull this out a little bit more. And the wheel already went in there because there's no bump to lock it in place, magic square. So I guess you can just fold in the wheel now. Do the same on the other side like so. And then once we do, then we can bring these panel pieces to go over and cover. And this is important to note here. Let's do it this way so you could see. There is a hook tab there, so you could see it's not as simple as now just flip this over, tab it in. It's a hooking tab. So unfortunately, to get the, you could press really hard, but I don't like doing things that way. So you kind of like twist it so that that corner is going in, and once it's in, then you'll see it's nice and flush. So if you could do it again on the other side, it's not as simple as just tab that in, and then you could see it's not going in nice and flush because of that hook tab I was telling you. So you need to just kind of twist just a tiny bit at that corner to get it in, and then it will go in all the way, and then it's nice and flush like so. Let me fix this. Might have pushed it in a little too much. Okay, that's done. After that, then this is not as simple as just lift this top piece up, because it's not explained very clearly. Right here, you don't have the clearance. This piece gets in the way of the shoulder. So what you need to do actually is first you need to untab this front to loosen it up. So there are tabs underneath the hood. So you slowly and gently untab that. And once you do, again, you can't just simply flip this up. So here, okay, I'm going to explain the shoulder. You want to rotate it inward and then bring it out so you have the clearance. And then you do the same on this side. You want to rotate it in and bring the arm out a little bit like so. And now after you do that, now you'll see you have all the clearance here. So there's no clearance issues, X-Trans bots. So here you just have to know how to properly manipulate this so you have no issues. Once you do, then you can bring this up, and on the double hinge, flip this forward so that now you could fold in these panel pieces for the headlights. And then you could flip it back up to fit that shape. And then we can fold that down and then put it to the back. And then we need to get this tabbed in. You could see it's a hooking tab. So here what you need to do is you need to open up these two side pieces of the turret. So it's probably good to grab it close to the base here, grab here, and then just give it a good pull. You're applying force, so you want to go gently, because if you're applying force and you're going too rough, then you're going to go all the way down here. You might cause tension, stress down here, so you just want to do it slowly and carefully. So my point is, it's not as simple as just untab that, because yeah, you need to do it very slowly and carefully. And then here I need to point this out. You could see the hooking tabs. You think it goes in here, this center, and that's incorrect. You see it's a T shape. It needs to sit on top of this one, not in here, because if you don't put it in the right spot, it's not going to close. So if you get it in the right place, get that tab sitting on that bottom piece, and then you push this in. If you got it in the right place, it will close. And let's see where it's at. So yeah, you see it's a little up. It needs to be sitting down. So you need to make sure it goes in the right location, and then this will now go close in place. And then you need to do the same on this side. And this side, I think I still missed it. Yeah, you need to give it a good squeeze, because it's magic square, those tabbing systems. To get it in, you need to lock it in place. And then this is always kind of loosening up while I'm manipulating it. So just put that back in place. His knees are bent, so I have some room, unless I come up a little bit more. And then we can finish up on these arms, which this is pretty easy. So let's just do one side. So obviously you bring this down, and then you want to flip down his hands and then tab in that panel piece for his wrist. And then you want to here open up the panel piece on the forearm, and then you want to use that, rotate it down. And then here on the lower bicep, you want to rotate this up 180, and then you want to close this panel piece, find the tab and the slot, line it up, and tab it in, give it a good squeeze. After you do that, then we could bring his arm down on the nice ratchet, and then you could do the same on this side. Okay, after you did that to the other side, now you just simply rotate the head around 180, and then now that we're finished, we can straighten out his legs, and then we can come out a little bit to get a full view of Onslaught. And then now you just articulate the hands and fingers how you want, and then you can also give him his handgun, open up his fingers. And unfortunately this one, you have to put the gun in this way. You can't put it this way and then rotate the hand around. So you need to make sure you put it in this way. And find the tab and the slot, line it up, tab it in, give it a good squeeze, and then close those fingers around. And yeah, see, like I said, you can't have it here. So let's do that one more time. Put it in this way, then close those fingers around. And then now we have Onslaught in his robot mode. So to pose him, spread his legs out, push down these feet. I'm going to rotate one direction this way, and then bring up his arm here. This arm's coming forward, so that means this leg should come forward a little bit, the contrapposto, and then push this arm back a little bit. And then we can just get these all planted and rotate his head. And now you can see we have Onslaught in his robot mode.